Who do you think of when you hear the word celebrity? Perhaps it's a movie star, a company founder, or the highest officials in political offices. If you asked a person this question around 2 decades ago, the answer would almost always be someone intertwined with the mainstream media, paired with an unfathomably large following. Back then, nobody would have considered a teenager with a camera making comedy videos a celebrity, or someone recording themselves playing a video game. Moreover, nobody would expect so many to orbit and enjoy this media to where these fans could be labeled as a community. A lot has changed in between those 2 decades. The barriers for entry have lowered and the limitations on what defines a celebrity have loosened up. Establishing a platform for fame is the easiest it has been, thanks to the internet, that for better or for worse has given anyone the opportunity to reach similar if not even grander heights to the mainstream celebrities of today. This video essay will observe and dissect the characteristics of fandoms, how influencers interact with their fandoms, and the complexities that arise feeding into these relationships. Chapter 1. The Rise of Fandom Culture on the Internet. The early stages of the internet banked on short bursts of virality to facilitate its grassroots of popularity. Some examples that come to mind are famous/infamous internet memes and videos like Pepe the Frog, Star Wars Kid, or for a real deep cut, the troll face. While the nature of these ancient fossils of a bygone era of the internet were often nonsensical and incredibly peculiar to anyone on the outside looking in, these pieces encapsulated what separated the internet from the mainstream. There was no overtly capitalist agenda to the media consumption process, or any intrusive corporate meddling. Anything had the chance to become popular, and the extent of that popularity was determined by mainly younger generations who were actively growing up alongside the internet. This is pivotal to consider since the ensuing conversations and engagement surrounding these internet artifacts fostered a good deal of internet communities that were divorced from the mainstream. The journal article Fans, Fandoms, or Fanaticism by Gregorio Fucillo illustrates how fandoms differentiate from passive consumers and why their roles matter in resisting social status hierarchies. Fans seek resistance to the capitalist system, not only by escaping society, as occurs with media text, but also by creating alternative, even if temporary, sites where they can experience more caring and less dehumanizing forms of sociality. Above all else, fandoms seek community and escapism from the offline world, with identities tied to hobbies and interests that can bleed over into passionate, dynamic connections. These thematic threads are largely responsible for how fandoms are solidified in pop culture, and why they're ironically a desirable metric for capital. As explored in class, fandoms are sustainable through exuding a sense of community that garner a variety of audiences. What's also paramount of fan culture is something that was addressed in the reading, Participatory Culture, Community, and Play, written by Adrian L. Massanari. Websites like Reddit congregate huge volumes of audiences that are all categorized into certain groups called subreddits. Majority of these communities function on reward systems, i.e., karma, badges, and upvotes. The more currencies users have, the higher likelihood of exposure and acclaim will be for them. Frankly, systems like these reveal that the internet runs on an attention economy, and that there are parallels that can be drawn to fandoms to the mechanics of Reddit. What most fans want being online are acknowledgement, acceptance, and belonging. Inevitably, this discussion has led to the question of how creators utilize their fame. Do they perhaps indulge their audiences, leave them to their own devices, rarely if ever intervening? Or do the relationships between fandoms and creators go a lot deeper than expected?
As celebrities become more common and relatable, and online fandoms prospering like never before, parasocial relationships have become more prevalent in the current digital pop culture landscape. The term parasocial relationship was coined by social scientists Donald Horton and Richard Wall in 1956. It was originally described as illusionary one-sided relationships formed with media personalities from TV or radio by the sense of intimacy and friendship created through direct consumption. Nowadays, with the rise of social media and online influencers, that definition has expanded to include social media influencers, content creators, and streamers. The biggest factor causing the rise of parasocial relationships all revolve around the accessibility of content and relatability. Celebrities used to feel distant or untouchable, where they'd be seen as unrelatable or out of reach due to drastic different lifestyle they have compared to ordinary people. However, with the rise of online influencers, they feel much more grounded, as social media allows them to share more intimate parts of their lives, giving fans a glimpse into their daily life and struggle. Social media has also given a way for fans to interact with influencers through messages, comments, or donations, further giving them a deeper illusion of reciprocal interaction. In Mediated Relationships and Social Life by Jonathan Cohen, he further hammers down the impact of social media on parasocial relationships. He states that if the advent of the internet and the creation of fan sites afforded audiences with more ways of learning about celebrities, the use of social media has fundamentally changed the nature of mediated relationships in allowing celebrities easy and constant access to communicating with fans who became friends and followers. For modern online influencers, they often present themselves as normal people, blurring the line between celebrity and friend. Using this authenticity and relatability, it makes this parasocial bond feel more genuine. One example of an influencer who utilizes these methods of building trust with his audience is Mr. Beast.
Parasocial relationships have become a fundamental aspect of influencer culture in the age of digital media. Jimmy Donaldson exemplifies this phenomenon more vividly than known globally as Mr. Beast. With over 300 million subscribers, Mr. Beast has developed a fan base, the Beast Army, that views him as an entertainer, friend, and even role model. Cross and Rubin state that parasocial relationships are imaginary, one-sided friendships between television viewers based on vicarious interaction. Mr. Beast's strategic use of YouTube enhanced the parasocial relationships. One of the strategies is global accessibility and perceived intimacy. Mr. Beast's content transcends linguistic barriers, with videos dubbed into 17 languages and subtitled in 24 languages. This action positions him as a global friend, creating the feeling that he speaks directly to diverse audiences. Therefore, it fosters a sense of intimacy and connection, making his image more friendly and accessible to audiences worldwide. The next strategy is Beast Philanthropy, which is an online platform founded by Mr. Beast that leverages the power of social media to raise funds and help people worldwide. This platform raised more than 400 million followers and aims to make the world a better place. For example, saving children in Africa, environmental conservation, and food insecurity. His altruism mobilizes fans for social good and reinforce the parasocial dynamics. By donating all revenues generated from content, fans may feel engaged in this social bond by watching his videos. In conclusion, Mr. Beast's strategies for fostering parasocial relationships have profound cultural implications.